Hey guys, James with Torches and Tactical, and today we're talking about the Olight Sigurd. Now the Sigurd is a high-performance weapons mount light that gives you a cool white LED that shines out at 1450 lumens for a grand total of 240 meters. Now all that is powered by a 2400 milliamp hour rechargeable pack inside this foregrip. Does give you MCC magnetic charging as well as a high and low mode, which we will go over here shortly. No, there is no strobe available, at least on this version. Now, I have heard that they might be working on a second version, but this isn't that terribly old, so I don't know when that's going to be. And finally, this is IPX4 waterproof, so you can keep it on your weapon while you are trudging through the mud. So let's go ahead and take a look at everything that comes in the package. To start off, we do have the packaging. So the packaging gives you a very clear indication of what is inside the box, giving you a picture of the Sigurd itself, letting you know that it does shine out to 240 meters at 1450 lumens. And on the back, you do have contact information for Olight if you need to contact them. And if we open up the package, you will see a README card letting you know that you do have to attach that magnetic charger to the Sigurd in order to activate it, as it is shipped in lockout mode, and a couple tips on how to make sure you get it securely mounted, but we will go over that here shortly. You also get a user manual, and this is going to walk you through each of the steps in order to use high, low, and get it mounted. And in this cardboard, now, the Sigurd is shipped inside a plastic sleeve to make sure that it doesn't get knocked about on its way to you. You get an Allen key in order to tighten up that securing screw. You also get your magnetic charging cable, or MCC, and this plugs into USB-A on one end and gives you a magnetic attachment to your Sigurd in order to charge it up. And finally, there is one already on the body of the light, but they do include a replacement screw if it ever gets stripped out. So let's get this out of the way and start looking at this light. Alright guys, now if we are looking at the Sigurd itself, you will see that there is a difference in materials here. Now the only actual aluminum part on this light is the head itself, where the LED comes out. The rest of this is a plastic material, but don't let that worry you. I'm putting legit serious pressure onto this, and there's no flex at all in this design. Now, I don't know if it's gusseted inside and gives ridges for support, but there's zero play on it whatsoever. So even for it being plastic, it is very well done. Now, as far as the metal here, this aluminum is coated in a Type 3 hard anodize. Now this one is black to match the plastic handguard. As far as the other colors available, they do have a desert tan and a gunmetal gray. However, we are looking at the black here. And that plastic is also going to keep it nice and warm, or at least warmer depending on your climate and conditions when you're holding it in your hand. Now I do have pretty large hands, so it might look a little bit different in yours. I frankly do wish the handguard or the angle grip were a little larger to accommodate a larger hand, but it still fits well, and you can tell that the ridges here do make for a nice, comfortable, and secure grip. And I don't know if you saw it while I was flipping it around, but you do have an E-switch here on the right side, as well as on the left side. So this is ambidextrous. Here, let's go ahead and do the left switch. So one click turns it on and off. While it is on, you can double tap to move to the 1450 high mode. And if you press both of them at the same time, it does go into momentary. Or if you press and hold one side, it goes into momentary as well. So while it's on again, you can double tap to change modes between high and low. So low is 290 lumens, and that will help extend the battery life while it's mounted on your weapon or anything that has Picatinny rails. And unfortunately, I don't have another weapons mount or angled foregrip light to compare it to, but what we can do is bring it up next to a Balder S so you can see just how large this is. Now, you can probably tell it is quite a bit larger than this Balder S. However, full dimensions are 166 millimeters long by 44 millimeters wide. Now, in inches, that is 6.54 inches by 1.73 inches. So not a small unit, especially compared to something like the Balder S, and we will go ahead and compare these two outside. But it's also a lot heavier than the Balder S as well. And the total weight for this comes in at 220 grams with that battery in it. Now, the battery is not user replaceable. I mean, at least it's not intended to be user replaceable. However, I do see a series of screws up top, so I think it wouldn't be too terribly difficult. So if we move up to the business end, you will see that behind a TIR optic and that aluminum bezel, there is a high performance cool white LED. Now, I did reach out to Olight looking for a little clarification, but I still don't, unfortunately, know what LED comes in this. What I can tell you, though, is it does shine out to that 240 meters, and that is thanks to this TIR optic. Now, the TIR optics are kind of nice because it gives you the option to say exactly what you want as far as your flood and your throw. But again, you will see that here when we compare the Sigurd with the Balder S here. Now, if we move on to the back side, like I said, it does have that MCC magnetic charging, and that attaches, like you would guess, with magnets, and that will bring the battery from empty to full in 3.5 hours. Now, there is no USB-C port, so you're not going to use this for a power bank, but in high, this battery will operate this front LED for more than 2 hours, and in low, it almost doubles it to right at 4 hours. So let's go ahead and get this mounted on a weapon so you can see just how it looks and how to do it, and then we'll go over those performance figures. Alright guys, the first thing we have to do to mount the Sigurd onto a weapon is remove this screw. And again, it does come with this tool, so you don't have to worry at all about having to find the right size. So with that screw out, you can bring the barrel of the weapon of your choice, slide it onto that Picatinny rail, and if you look in this hole, you'll see where the grooves line up, and you can slide that screw in there. Get it on there nice and tight, and there we go. Now I'll go ahead and load up a picture so you can see just how this looks in full guise. And with it mounted on a long arm like my 20-inch AR, unfortunately I think that's where the largest issue comes into play. Is you have to choose between having it further back for comfort or having it further forward in order to make sure that you don't have that light interfere with any barrel blockage. Now I will leave this mounted on here when we go outside tonight so you can see exactly what I'm talking about with that barrel blockage and how it affects the light output. But given the size compared to the long arm that I have, frankly, it makes more sense to have this on something like an AR pistol, or at least something with a shorter barrel. So let's go ahead and take this outside on the weapon so you can see exactly what it looks like out there at night and how that barrel does affect the light output. And we'll compare it to the Balder S, just so you can see comparatively how bright each one is and how it shines compared to the other. Then we'll come back in, touch on a couple key notes, and let you be on your way. Alright guys, outside with the Olight Sigurd. So I'm going to go ahead and fire it up right now, and hopefully you'll be able to see exactly what I'm talking about with the barrel intrusion. So here we go. So on the top right there you can see a little bit, it is raining pretty bad right now, but the barrel kind of blocks the top of the beam. And here is high, this is 1,450 lumens. And now to compare, here is the Balder S. So quite a bit different. All right, sorry about the glare that's being caused by the rain. But let's get back inside and I will run over a couple key topics. All right, guys, we went outside last night and we saw how the Sigurd compared to the Balder S. Now, I know one is specifically a pistol light and the other is a weapons mount or angled foregrip light, so it's hard to draw a direct comparison, but I wanted you guys to be able to have something to compare it to. So now tell me what you thought down in the comments below. And I have to say that I really do like the light as long as your barrel is not blocking the output. And if I have to say, I do wish that the angled foregrip were a little bit larger, just at least for my hands. Maybe do like a Sigurd XL maybe, because I love the concept and I like the fact that the Olight reliability is packed into something that you can mount on your longer arms than just a pistol. And in addition to that, I really do like the feedback from these switches. It's a very bright light and you can tell exactly when you click it without it being overly loud or anything like that. And finally, the fit and finish on this is fantastic. Now I know this plastic probably is injection molded, but the molds were done very well and I don't see any issues with it. So I'm excited to get this back on my weapon and continue using this during some night shoots. So if I can ask, I'd love for you guys to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel because we are doing giveaways all the time. And I want you guys to have your chance to win one of the lights that we give away as well. So thank you guys again so much for being here, and we'll see you in the next one.